Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I am so glad you're here. In this video today, we're doing a lot of prep work to start planting for the summer garden outside as well as finish up inside. So I'm standing in our outside garden, and so today I'm going to walk you through what my husband's been doing to prep for this space and to show you the progress. So far, we're gearing up for our big planting day. I'll tell you more about that later on in the video. And then you and I are going to also go into the high tunnel and show you what needs to be prepped or done in there and plant some stuff. We're also going to do some harvesting, and then we also are going to test some of the acidity in our blueberry plant. So a lot of stuff happening today in this video, so I hope that you will stick around and join us. But before we jump into the video, I want to stop in a moment and thank the sponsor of this video, which is BetterHelp. So BetterHelp makes getting therapy easier. I want to stop for a moment and talk about the need and the necessity of therapy at certain points in your life and let you know it is okay to go and get therapy. Long are the days when it is a shame to go get therapy. Long gone are the days where you have to actually drive somewhere, get on someone's couch, and do all the things. Let me tell you about the process at BetterHelp. BetterHelp, again, and if you click the link in my description box, you can get 10% off of your first month. But BetterHelp, once you go click that link in the description box to get your 10% off, you will take a quiz. And in that quiz, it's going to ask you your preferences, what you're going to therapy for, what type of therapist you're looking for, whether that's male or female. Also, it's going to ask you several different questions about the style and the preferences of the therapist that you would like. And in as little as 48 hours, they will match you with a therapist. Just that simple. And you can talk to your therapist by video. You can talk to them by phone, by text. And so there's many different options. You don't even have to leave the comfort of your home. That's why I say they make getting therapy easier. And so there are times in our lives when sometimes we just need an extra person to talk to. It could be a divorce. It could be a loss of a child or a parent. It could be caregiving. It could be many things going on in your life that sometimes just having someone else to validate how you feel and to give you a path forward makes all the difference. And so I encourage you, if I'm speaking to you and you're going through a tough spot in your life right now, I want you to click the link in my description box below to get 10% off and try BetterHelp. I don't think that you will regret it. I have used BetterHelp and I absolutely love the process. And so I encourage you to do the same. So click the link in my description box below to get your 10% off of your first month. Now let's get into this vlog and let's get all these things done that's on our to-do list. Okay guys, so let me kind of tell you what's going on. In a previous video, I told you we were replacing the landscape fabric in our outside garden. So if you're new here, I'm standing in our outside garden. We only garden this space in the summertime. It is 4,000 square feet, so it's a pretty big space. We have 8 rows and each row is 100 feet in length. And so we got this space or started using the space, tilling up the space, creating this space, whatever you want to call it, back in, I think it was 2021, if I'm not mistaken. It may have been 22. And so when we first carved out this space, it was 2,000 square feet. It was 20 by 100. And then the next year, we actually expanded it and doubled the space. So we love using this space. And so we put the first landscape fabric down back in 21 when we first created this space. And we've gone through, we've learned over the years about how we should have done it. And now we're kind of rewriting our ship. But it lasted 4 years. Before we're having to replace it. And usually they say it'll last about 5 to 6 years. So we were right on the money. But one of the main things that we didn't do well when we laid the fabric down is that we didn't overlap. We were trying to, I guess, maximize the amount of landscape fabric that we use and not, because it is an investment in terms of the cost. So my husband kind of had it butted up against each other, not thinking that, hey, weeds are going to kind of create in that space as the wind blows, it's going to lift it up and all of that. So what we're doing now, and what I should say, what he is doing is he is going through and redoing all of the landscape fabric, and he is actually overlapping it by, I would say, probably a couple of inches. So that's going to give us better coverage. As you can see, the part that I'm standing in is all brand new. We use a landscape fabric from Farmer's Friend. The ones that you see with the holes in it, it comes already like this with the holes already fabricated. They come in several different configurations. What you see here behind me, these holes are 18 inches apart. And so that's the majority of this space out here. So we're able to do our tomatoes, our peppers, our okra, our squash, all of the things 18 inches apart. Again, this is an investment. And so for this space, I want to say it was probably, if I had to guess, around $400 or $500 for the landscape fabric to put it down. Oh, excuse me, to buy the landscape fabric. And so when you think about that over a 5-year period, then to me, you kind of get your money's worth. And when we first started gardening, we did use several different other kind of landscape fabrics, and they have not stood the test of time. Another example of you get what you pay for, right? You get what you pay for. And then the space that I'm in right here, where you don't see the holes, is the same type of fabric, but the company or the brand name is DeWitt. It is also in my Amazon shop. You can get this. It is a woven weave fabric. It's very durable, lasts a long time. And so this space right here that does not have the holes is space that we do not plant in. And that'll go all the way to the fence. So as we start to plant the summer garden, I'll explain to you the rows and what all we have, what all we're going to plant. And I'll tell you why this space is empty. I won't go into the detail into that today. But if you've been here, you know that we have a huge, what we call planting day, where we actually plant the summer garden. It is supposed to happen this upcoming weekend at the time of this video, but the weather is weathering. And so it is tentative. Regardless if we have the big planting party or not, this space has to be planted. So the big planting party is where my friends actually come and help me plant the summer garden. We make a big to-do about it. We have a really good time. And so we've done that for the last 3 years. This will be year number 4. If for some reason the weather does not cooperate, then it'll be this hand and this hand and my husband's hands and whoever else I can help find to plant the summer garden. But let me tell you, it is a lot to plant this space. If I have to do it all myself, it's going to take days upon days upon days. But that is the reality of it. You can't control the weather. You can only control what you can control. So I just wanted to kind of show you, this is how it's coming, how it's looking. Let me turn the camera around and also show you the other space that he's working on right now. Okay, so he's doing the space like up against the fence, and all of this is just plain paper without any holes. He's redoing this because, again, some of it had come up, some of it had been tattered, and so he's redoing this. So by the time he gets done, I think the majority of this area will be new paper. Now, he has not done the area on the other side of this first trellis. He's thinking that I think some of that may be in good shape. So we'll see what happens, but the goal is to get this space ready to plant in by the weekend. You can see that space down there that's empty. We had to order more paper with the holes in it, so it has come, and so he just has to lay that paper down there. But he is making good progress, and I'm very, very thankful. Okay, guys, so now I'm in the high tunnel. Many things to do out here, but I think the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and harvest what I can. So we have some spinach that is trying to bolt. We have cilantro that is trying to bolt. We have lettuce that needs to be harvested. And so I want to take care of that stuff first. I'm going to grab a basket, harvest what we can, and then we'll plant next.
So the first thing that I go to harvest is the spinach. I showed you this in a previous video that my spinach is trying to bolt. It's like the flowers are not 100% there, but they are forming, so you could definitely see them, and it's growing a bit more tall and elongated versus in a bush format. So that tells me that it's trying to bolt, and it's because spinach is a cool weather crop, and so it's in the greenhouse, and so if it's 80 degrees outside, it's a good 90 or 95 in the high tunnel, and so that's just too warm for it. I think if I had my shade cloth on now, it might be a little bit better. But I don't know, probably be on in the next week or so. But that's typical. And this spinach has been in my garden since September. So we have definitely, it took a while to grow, but since it's grown, we have definitely harvested a ton. And this particular spinach is a new variety to me, but it is the variety that I will grow next year, and probably only this variety. When I tell you it tastes so good, it's the best tasting spinach I've ever had. And when I've cooked it at home, my husband says, "What spinach is that?" That is the best spinach I've ever had. It is Gerenuk, Gerenuk from Johnny's Seed. So I am just going around to different places in the bed and harvesting as much as I can. I'm not ready to pull it out yet, even though it may be time. What I will do is that I will taste what I'm harvesting today and make sure that it's still not bitter. I harvested some before I left that looked like this, and it tastes still amazing. But I will test it just to make sure, and if it doesn't taste bitter, I'm gonna see if it'll grow one more time, and I'll get me another harvest, and then I'll probably let it go, because I know that the temperatures are only gonna get warmer. They're not gonna get any cooler. So I harvest the spinach in multiple beds. I also end up harvesting some cilantro and a few other things as well.
Okay guys, we were able to harvest these beautiful lacinato kale, which is also known as dino kale. Look how dark and green that is. That is beautiful. And then I have a whole basket of spinach. That's not all. Let me see where I can put this. Also, I got a cup of calendula flowers. So pretty. We'll use that to make more salve. I have some fresh dill there. We were able to get the last remaining carrots. I had some that were hot in there, so we'll take those. And then we got all of this cilantro. So quite a bit, which I'm excited about. Now, is there more to harvest? Oh, I forgot the lettuce. I'm not gonna harvest the lettuce because I have lettuce in my house that I need to use up, and it doesn't look like it's bolting, so we'll get that later on in the week. I'm gonna come back out here and get me some snapdragon flowers to make a pretty flower arrangement in my house, but I don't have a bucket with water down here, and I got a lot to carry. So I also have some thyme out here that I can harvest, some oregano, and things like that. That'll go in the freeze dryer. I have rosemary to harvest, so we got quite a bit that we can still harvest. But I want to move on to the planting before I lose daylight. So in this bed, I'm going to do a couple of nasturtiums. This is potato bed. Now I have potatoes planted in this row here that I'm waiting to come. Oh, I see a potato there. Let me get you further in the ground, and then maybe you will do your thing. But I'm going to put some right in here. Nasturtiums are a great companion plant for potatoes. They will help deter the potato beetle. So in this open space, I'll do that. And before the nasturtium gets too wild, the potatoes will be up. So let's do that here. I have two. I'm putting one of my eggplants in this bed, filling in that open space. I'm trying to think, should I put another tomato close to grow up on this trellis? I think that'll be too close, so I won't do that there.
So I plant more. I kind of decided against adding more tomatoes around this trellis just because I got the one tomato in the middle, and hindsight, maybe I should have put the tomato on the outside of the trellis so it can kind of grow up on the outside instead of this taking up all the space on the inside. I'm not quite sure how I was supposed to do that, but in hindsight, I'm thinking maybe that would have been better. But either way, because I have this tomato on the inside of this trellis, I decided not to put some other tomatoes around it that would need support because that wouldn't work. And so I plant some other flowers on the side. I think I did some calendula here just to kind of add along the border. In this bed, I already have some calendula. I have spinach, I have rosemary, and all of that. So I add some more flowers along the edge. And then I decide to go ahead and take out a couple of these spinaches that are in this bed. I still have spinach in other places. Like I said, I'm not ready to take out the spinach altogether in all the beds, but I do eventually decide, let me just open up this space and go ahead and take out this spinach that's right here in this bed.
So I told you I had to replace some of my peppers. So I brought a few peppers out here to fill in the spaces that I could. And then obviously I have more peppers up at the house. But I think I have maybe 7 or 8. So let's see how far we get with putting these peppers in for the ones that where the holes are missing a pepper. I don't know if the transplant just didn't make it due to transplant shock, if something ate it, I'm not really sure. The ones that are left are doing well, but I have several that are not here. So we're gonna go ahead and get these in the ground.
It's always better when you're starting seeds to have more than enough and not just the exact amount that you need, because it comes in handy that I have extra pepper plants. Now, as I finish this, I ended up putting, I think, maybe 10 pepper plants in, but then on the row behind me, I still have spots that need pepper plants. And so I now feel like I may be running short on pepper plants. Now, I started pepper plants. I went back to my list and I started about 180 something pepper plants. But then when I was looking specifically at my bell peppers, I have about 70. The rest of those peppers are other things like spicy peppers, some new pepper varieties, or like Anaheims and things like that. Bell peppers are, again, one of the things that I definitely grow for a whole year. And so I don't remember seeing a lot of bell pepper plants left when I was looking at my seeds before I came out here. So I got to go back and look at my trays, because now I'm starting to get a little concerned. Which, again, I can always buy some, so that's not a huge deal. But the fact that I had to put in 10 on this row, and I think on the next row I may need another 10, that's like 20 extra plants. And that may be like right at it. And of course, I'll be planting pepper plants out in the outside garden as well. So I'm thinking about what I have to plant in here and out there. And now I'm wondering, do I have enough specifically bell pepper plants? But I got to go back and check and see. But again, this is just a lesson in sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the time, it's better to have more than what you need, because you can always sell it, get rid of it, and all of that. But to not have enough just means more money, because at this point I wouldn't want to start bell peppers, even though I have a long growing season. But I mean, it takes like 8-week lead time, and I want all of my peppers in the ground way before 8 weeks. So I don't know that I will start more, unless if I wanted to do them for the backyard for my second succession, I could do that. But if I'm missing pepper plants for here or the outside garden, then I'm just going to have to buy those and pick those up. And again, this sometimes happens with your transplants if they're not properly hardened off, which some of mine were by the time that I did this first planting, but some of them I think were just too small. I think that's, at the end of the day, I think that's really what happened.
Hey, y'all. Woo, that was rough. Y'all, the bending, let me just tell you, it's different than when I started gardening 6 years ago. Oh my goodness. But we got it done. We got the first row completely done. Every spot is filled. So that was probably about 10 peppers. On the second row, I counted, I need about 9. Y'all, that means I lost a lot of peppers. That's like 18 peppers that I lost. Now, that's why it's always good to grow extra. And then on the tomato row, it looks like I'm missing 4 tomatoes, and I know that I have plenty of tomatoes. I don't know how many peppers I have left once I allot what is supposed to go in the outside garden, but if I have to buy some, not a big deal. Yeah, so I feel accomplished. We got that whole first row done. So what is not done in the greenhouse? What's not done is the second row of peppers, where I need an extra 9. I need to fill in 4 spots on the tomatoes, and then that third row where you see the trellis behind me is completely not done. So yeah, I got to do that whole row, and I'm still debating on the trellis part if I'm going to do cucumbers or if I'm going to do like some type of beans or something like that. So I'm still debating. The raised beds for the most part are done. I can squeak in a few more things here and there, but other than that, it is done. So we're making progress. I feel like the progress is slow, but then I have to remember I was gone for a week. So I lost that whole week. And then when I think about that being planted out there, but first we got to get it ready so that it can be planted. And then we have impending weather coming over the next 2 days. So that's 2 days we can't be outside. Anyway, y'all know the story. It's no different than what you experience in your gardens and whatever. So I'm just trying to be positive, pace myself, and do what I can do. But we were able to, my husband has made some progress on the outside garden. We were able to do a good harvest. We were able to plant some more things in the greenhouse. So we are reducing the number of plants at my house. But the sun is about to catch me, and I need to actually go put plants. I showed you that I had my plants outside. I need to go put some plants back inside the house because we're supposed to be having bad weather tonight and tomorrow. It could be hailstorm and possible tornadoes. And so I don't want my plants flying all over the land. And so especially the ones on the top shelf, I'm going to go ahead and put those in the sunroom, and we're going to hunker down for the next 24, 36 hours and let the weather do its thing, and then we'll be back at it. But thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'm excited about what's to come, but I also have like this weight on my head that is like, get this stuff planted. It's time. It's time. Once it's planted, you enter into a whole nother realm of busy. So we just go from busy to busy. And so I just need to, you know, like I said, it's going to get done. It just may not be done at the timing that I want. So I want to encourage you, if you're experiencing the same thing, if you feel like you're behind, I understand. I see you. It is going to get done. Just pace yourself. Do what you can do. We're going to pray and ask the Lord to help us do the part that we cannot do. But I want you to be encouraged. I'm sending love and light. And remember, y'all, this is a journey. Let's do it together. I'll see you next time, friend.